should be better in these conditions. But none of that happened. We're coming across the line. Ladies and gentlemen, we've won our first race for Alpha Tauri. We've won our first race in this career mode. Absolutely fantastic.
Cannot be serious!
Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another video of some F1 2020 career mode. Today we are doing episode number 8 for the French Grand Prix circuit that I don't particularly enjoy going around, but nonetheless we have to get it out of the way anyway. Now, if you missed the last race, basically the game hates me because we won that race, but then the game crashed, and I did that get video twice, not race, excuse me, twice, and it still crashed. And there's even worse news, because off the back of that disappointment of not getting anything, the 2 engine updates that we had have completely failed as well. So it's not going well. We need a good result here today. Yes, we're still the 5th fastest team on paper, but obviously recent results, McLaren finally bring an upgrade. Renault's still unupgraded since Vietnam. And Haas have also brought an upgrade as well to bring them closer to the field, with Red Bull and Ferrari ever so slightly in their tightly filled battle at the front. So to qualify then, I'm not looking forward to this track. I do woefully well because, of course, after the DRS straight there's that twiddly bit, and then there's that straight afterwards, and I always get horribly losing a lot. I always lose a lot of time compared to the IO there. And of course this track, I still have nightmares in that career mode episode where I lost 5 laps of fuel in just a single corner. Anyway, into qualifying, obviously we've not had a greatest of qualifying, down in 18th place. Gasly's only in 17th, only a couple of tenths above me. So both of us need to improve in this second half. We do that with 3.5 tenths up as we're going down the DRS straight. Lewis Hamilton has just put a time in that's 2.5 seconds faster than my previous one. But we are 4.5 tenths up. This is the straight I was talking about earlier that I tend to struggle to get the eye, and obviously this corner. 2 tenths faster than Magnussen through that's there. So we are improving, but not enough. I doubt this will be a top 10 finish, but where can we go? And then into this snail section, which I really don't particularly like. If it was up to me, would be cutting the whole thing out and getting the minimum amount of lap time out of it, but it's not up to me, unfortunately. Through to this final corner, which is probably the only corner that I do enjoy on this track. Up to the line, let's see what this is. It's going to be around 1 minute 30. Improvement a second there, so that's good job there, and up to 12th place. We're going to have to hope there's for grid penalties. Although we did have a whole heap of them last time out. And of course, so 12th and 14th in the end. Obviously a little bit 2 by 2 by 2 iffy, but anyway, enough about that. 12th from the grid. What can we do? Time for the race.
Welcome along then to France, host of the world famous Tour de France. But we're not talking 2 wheels today, we're talking 4, in a country widely thought of as giving birth to the art of motor racing back in the late 1800s. We've come a long way since then, and you're about to find out how far. It's time for the French Grand Prix. 6 lefts and 9 rights give us a total of 15 corners here at the circuit Paul Ricard, and a lap covers an overall distance of 3.6 miles. Average speeds will be somewhere in the region of 142 miles per hour, and they'll be maxing out on the Mistral straight at around 205 miles per hour. Anthony Davidson is alongside me as usual for the race today. Now, let's talk about Charles Leclerc. Looks like they've got a tough race in store today as grid penalties from changing power unit components has forced them further down the field.
But on the bright side, at least those fresh components can help them maintain the power they need to come through the pack. I expect to see them take a more aggressive approach today to make up for the compromised start.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Albon, Max Verstappen and Perez, Stroll, Sainz, Ricciardo and Esteban Ocon, Leclerc and an Alpha Tauri, Lando Norris and Grosjean, Giovinazzi, Raikkonen, Kevin Magnussen and Nicholas Latifi. Gasly and George Russell ends our grid lineup. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Well, yes, nothing from Jeff there. We're starting P12. Unfortunately, Leclerc obviously just missed out on starting behind us. Race strategy is a one-stop. We're going to lower the fuel limit, but this is sort of a little bit of a mistake by me, as we're going to find that later on. I shouldn't have loaded it that much, but as we get ready for 5 red lights. But as you can see here, we're actually going to go even more negative. So that's why I don't want to really go even further negative. But it's a great start actually against Leclerc and Ocon. Can we get Ricciardo as well going into turn 1? And Leclerc's had has just dive bombed absolutely everybody into turn 1. So we get Ricciardo on the exit of turn 1. So he's more with Leclerc. He gets the great start on Ocon, and then just literally cuts the corner a little bit, hits one of the fake bollards and up into, well, he's going to be off into the sunset. I mean, he's the championship leader. It's damage limitation really for him today, compared to, I think, Valtteri Bottas is the man who's closest to him. So we sort of have a bit of a mare for that. Ricciardo going to come back at us. I don't want to take Ricciardo. I mean, I do feel sorry for Ricciardo in real life. He has doesn't want to be with the toxic atmosphere of Red Bull. Doesn't want to be playing second fiddle and have to given the chance. Hopefully he can get that McLaren, as we have a very understeery moment in that corner into the one of the final Snell section around the outside of Sainz and Stroll. But Sainz is coming back at us. We're going to give him room on this left hand side. We're going to give him room on the side, but we do obviously take the inside line and up into the 8th place. And this is actually I didn't really mean to go that far, right? But obviously the AI going so slow following each other, and then side by side with Sainz initially, but obviously we eventually get the power down. And up ahead, this is the battle that's going on between Bottas, Vettel and Albon. All of this are fighting, which is allowing Leclerc, who's only just down the road, to catch up to them as well, as he goes ahead there now. And you can see there that Sainz now is trying to pull there. We made contact with Sainz there. I think Sainz may have lost a little bit of his front wing. We got lucky. Not really. Again, that's where I'm the weakest on this circuit compared to the AI. They just seem to have so much speed off that corner and through that second straight. Although there's no DRS there, it feels like they are having DRS over me sometimes. Nothing really there changing from previous F1 games, as a lot of people are actually starting to come into the pits, including Sainz. Obviously the pit lane has changed since we first came here on F1 2018. So we're going to move into hyperdrive mode, trying to get the move on. Obviously we don't want to be in lean. Obviously we're not making a lot of headway, so that's why I thought maybe not so much next time. It's a little bit of experiment to find the sweet spot with how much fuel we do take out of the car. Obviously we don't end up at the beginning of the race with about 2 laps of fuel, so we come into the pits at the end of lap 6. We're in P4. Giovinazzi there is going to continue on. I believe our rivalry is actually due up, so this might be the final race Well, that might be one. As Sergio Perez is out the race with an engine failure. And of course, that can only mean one thing in this career mode. Yep, that's right. The safety cars come out. I don't get the safety cars coding has not changed since F1 2019. They've just literally copied and pasted it as we come out the pits. 2.8 seconds stop, about average for F1 2020 standards, not 2019 standards. But eventually, of course, we come out to the cars. Now, a couple of people pitted a lap later, including our teammate, and Antonio Giovinazzi is going to come out ahead of Max Verstappen. Gasly's going to come out ahead of Sainz, who lost out in the pits to Ocon. As the safety car comes in, again, all being bunched up. Verstappen, not really there. I could have gone down the inside, but obviously the safety car line isn't up yet, so we're going to get this move done. We've got the battery done. Verstappen clearly not using overtake mode. He's gone defensive into turn 1. Can we get this out? He'll be round the outside into turn 1. He goes defensive, takes a bit of the curbing, which slows him down, and thank you very much. That's 7th place back. This is actually not quite a nice move. Choose the outside, use a bit of overtake. No, Verstappen. Good respect between both of us. Yes, we do sort of hinder Verstappen, but that can't be helpful with the understeer. We're ahead of a Red Bull, which is crucially where we want to be, going through to the end of the season. As Verstappen's going to come back at us down the inside, we're going to cut him off though through that corner. We've obviously got to be careful. And moving to lap 11 now, we were catching Giovinazzi for a while, but he's got too much speed compared to us. Obviously, Alfa Romeo brought upgrades for this weekend, so obviously, and I think they probably bought our upgrades, which is obviously going to help Giovinazzi through the corners. Obviously, he's already the fastest car on the straight line. So Verstappen's going to have another go to the outside. Why is he going to the outside? I don't know, because I'm taking the racing line. A little bit of contact there between myself and Verstappen. I was got cut the corner a little bit. But we moved to lap 13, and we're sort of really holding on. Giovinazzi's gapped us to 3 seconds, and Verstappen is right there. He's going to DRS. Ocon's there as well. He's come to join the party. We really are struggling now. These tyres have gone off completely. Obviously, we've been affected by that. The 2 R&D upgrades on the power not coming through this weekend, which will have helped us down these straights. Verstappen's going to go down the inside. We're going to have to try and defend this around the outside. He takes the curbing as well. We have to take to the curbing a little bit, which loses us time, but not enough as Verstappen. And we do retain P7, but of course this is not over yet. Ocon is right there, so is Verstappen. Can we hold on to 7th place in the French Grand Prix? Going to the sales section now. This is of course where the AI like to dive up the inside every now and again. Verstappen though thinks second best of it and just decides to follow us through. Is he going to have a last minute lunge then into the final corner potentially? He is a little bit back. Ocon's a little bit too far back to gain, so it's going to be us or Verstappen getting 7th place. Bottas has won the Grand Prix. Verstappen's not there. He's lost a bit of time up to the line. It's going to be, thank you very much, P7. I'll definitely take that. Yeah, we didn't have the pace in the first stint. Obviously, we had to go a little bit more lean than I'd like to have done, but I'll definitely take P7. Unfortunately, we couldn't catch Giovinazzi for 6th place, so he gets drive of the day, of course. Valtteri Bottas, Mercedes 1-2. Hamilton got pole, but lost out in the pits. And Albon as well up, and Leclerc obviously gaining the pits as well over Vettel. And then Giovinazzi and Gasly, 2 of the big gainers from the pits. And then really losing out was Stroll and Ricciardo and Sainz as well, who lost out big time. It was actually Norris who was behind, McLaren behind. In terms of the Drivers' Championship, we saw it is still in that middle, that no man's land in 7th place with 44 points. So obviously keeping the scoreboard ticking will allow us to maintain 7th place throughout the season. Obviously it's going to be dependent on people like Stroll and Perez not getting podiums. If they do start to get podiums, then they're obviously going to catch up to us quite quickly. And Gasly still hasn't caught ahead of Russell, who scored those 4 points in that weird race in Vietnam. But in the constructors, we do retain 4th place. Alfa Romeo, Racing Point, Renault and McLaren are all within 3 points of each other, so that midfield battle is very tight, and then Haas and Williams are a couple of thousand light years behind. And obviously Ferrari and Mercedes are a little bit ahead of Red Bull as well.
So that was an exciting race from our perspective. Let's have yours. You really cut your way through the field today. What was your strategy?
Well, we had a couple of good overtakes, really. I didn't really want to make that thing, but the car's nimbleness did well there.
Performing as well as they could do?
I'm not going to do a George Russell and comment on Haas. Obviously, they have the performance to copy Ferrari, but they haven't done so.
Thank you for your time.
Yep, thank you for wasting mine again, Claire. So yes, in terms of the rivalry, Giovinazzi obviously gets more points in that. We do move up to level 7 in driver claim. We have got our contract renewed.
We can try and renegotiate for a better deal with our current team, or approach someone else.
We're of course going to renegotiate with Alpha Tauri for the rest of the season. We'll then look to move to Red Bull. We're obviously going to get more money, and we haven't been able to do any more driver perks since episode 1 because we haven't got the funds there. The funds don't come in. They only come in through the contracts, and that we signed a new deal. We've got $250,000 to spend on our perk fund, which we will be spending straight away. But we have signed another new contract for 8 more races with Alpha Tauri. I don't believe there's been any changes elsewhere, but obviously we'll see there throughout the rest of the season. We're going to purchase the power mapping upgrade. Obviously we don't have enough of the media option, but that's going to reduce the engine wear, which has been a little bit niggly at some points. We are on our 2nd energy store, which is not where I want to be, and we'll also start having to use some of the components in practice because the game doesn't allow you to use 80% if you've got more than 90% wear on a particular engine, that doesn't allow you to use in practice. All the facilities, hopefully Alpha Tauri are going to upgrade these soon. It's up to the team to upgrade them, but we are still the 5th fastest team on the grid. We will obviously finish off those 2 engine upgrades. Hopefully they'll come in soon. Then we might look at the Sashi upgrade. We've got those 2 aero upgrades coming in. We might look at the Sashi upgrade to upgrade our tyre wear, or I'm more inclined to actually doing a durability upgrade, since in fact we've got the third worst on the grid. So yeah, but if you have enjoyed this video, then leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you need to see more episodes of the Alpha Tauri Crew Mode as when they come out. Until the next video, I think it's time. Take care, thank you so much for watching, enjoy your day, and goodbye.